It is a dark, dark evening here in the Brown household. Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. I do. I really do. Hope you're well on this lovely, whatever weekday night it is. Fuck. So, I've done a couple of reading streams, but I haven't had a chance to really talk about the reason I haven't been doing other streams. We haven't been able to sort of chat about things, and there's a lot of sort of shit to talk about. Jesus, what a fucking few days, right? What a fucking crazy few days. Let me see if I can pull up a few of these. It's just been a very strange few days, to say the least. Very strange few days. I think Rick's been a valuable gateway to philosophy. Oh, I'm glad I could. M18K. Sonny got scared when he saw Kid removed his videos. Kid edited down his videos so people wouldn't be taking... Here, we can actually... We're going to watch a little Kid Not Ken. That'll be fun, because he has this video on his YouTubes. And we can actually watch, and I can give you a little bit of narration. Because this is really it. Let's see. We're getting a lot of death threats and things. So it's been a long few days, you might guess, and you might realize. So yeah, it gets weird, but it's fine. Let's see. There's this one here. Okay, and there's that one. One second. I just want to make sure I get the right video up. It's been a really fucking long few days. It really has. Yeah, Kid always removes his stuff anyway. Like, I don't read too much into it. Kid is a, like, super OPSEC, top-notch, big deal for him. And he's always just on top and keeping things going in a certain way. So we want to make sure we set it up right. And I think he put together... Oh, well, where is it? He had it in here. He had together a supercut of a series of streams, and I wonder if he privated it. Please say it's not privated. It is not. Sweet. Okay. Then that means we are moving into YouTube mode. So, about, I don't even know, how do I even talk about this? About 2 weeks ago, this stream existed. And this stream happened live, I think, many of you were probably in there, actually, knowing how much crossover we have. Because I was in there, so fucking why wouldn't you fuckers be in there? And, there were a couple inflatables at ICE here in Portland. And kids watching. I think at this point I was making food for the kids. So I go in and out of watching things. I usually watch a lot of things in the background, mostly. And here's the moment.
Outside the ICE building here in Portland.
This is what Trump wants to invoke the Insurrection Act to, is what he's going to have to point to? Is he going to have to point to this?
We did see an incident where an agent sprayed the...
How much are those?
How much are
outfits?
How much are they?
How much are those outfits?
It's a cool moment to watch for me right now because this has been
Not
wild.
expensive. 40 bucks. Dude. Dude. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
No one else was, actually.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm just saying, what if somebody bought a lot of them and distributed them at the facility?
And so the idea was born. It's really weird to see this moment. Because the inflatable thing preceded us, certainly. But there's a thing about how these situations come about. M18K, why did you delete your messages? I don't understand why you deleted those. They were very lovely messages. People who go to protests at ICE, especially during a time where Trump is talking about the Insurrection Act, where we see people being shot and killed by ICE or the National Guard or police, being driven off the road, run over, handcuffed. People are very hesitant to do that. Very, very hesitant to join that. And the handful of people who are brave enough to do that, and they are, or foolish, there's a fine fucking line, are people we owe everything to. But just saying, hey, we should have a handful of more of these, it's there. If you feel like wearing cute, silly outfits for protests has always been super common, somewhat. Portland, it's been fairly common. Generally speaking, though, there's some costumes, some things, but the prevalence of it, the front nature of it, the supply of them, because they're not cheap, and protesters are people who, generally speaking, don't have the ability to splurge $35, $40, $50 on these things. So, kid was like, I think at one point he makes the comment, he's like, "Where's Brooks? I need to see if this idea is stupid." And he's like, "Can we build a website?" I'm like, "Sure." So about an hour and a half later, I put together a website and we started taking purchases. And we got like 10 or 11 from you people and from his group, but I know a lot of you people are in there too. So we took them the next day, and as the next day was going, turned out we got more and then more and more. And then just over No Kings, we finally passed 300 we'd given away. And we've since given away another, 30, 40, 50. We're doing more and more every single week, every weekend. And it's become a lot more as we've had people at other marches, other protests, other events reach out to us and say, "Hey, are you supplying costumes?" And the answer is at this point, yes, we are. We get to be the costume guys. And it's turned into actually more logistical and full-time work than I think either of us expected it to be. But the way that it's shifted things, the Discord you had once said that a Gambin is reactionary and Tikkun is not far from reactionary. What did I mean by that? I literally mean that. Like, it's a Gambin is exceptional reactionary with biopolitics. We saw that during COVID, and Tikkun plays with reactionary content. They're both fascising. So the way it's taken off and the way it's worked, and this is where I want to kind of jump into a few of the fun little things we've been able to see. And this is surreal. This is a front page of AP News. Well, we come here to the ICE headquarters and have been now for about 10 days straight to make sure that people who need costumes or want costumes. I look like an old mountain man. It's pretty great. We're able to get them because we believe. That's me and that's Kid. That what it does is immediately make just super clear that the violence is being inflicted on the protesters, not by them. And if it is inflicted by them, it'll make it very clear that that's the case just as well. And we've seen over the last 10 days, it's forced a change in rhetoric, even by the White House and others, to notice that, hey, Portland may not be the hellhole nightmare that we thought.
I think that it's the revolution we've been waiting for.
Someone came by and put together one of the volunteers we have put together the clothing rack you saw, which is just fucking so cool. So fucking cool. She was so sweet. She was so sweet. She was like, "Oh, what do you have? Which costume?" We had to work with it. It was so cute.
And it gives power back to us, showing that we're not scared of these ICE agents, we're not scared of federal troops, and we're absolutely not going to let them take our city. We're going to keep having fun and keep Portland weird and safe.
I'm glad I just fixed the mushroom right before these people arrived. That is not Lamp. No. Lamp is the one who did the clothing rack, though, who set that up and put that together. If that's what you're asking. But no, that is not Lamp in the mushroom.
I was one of the...
So this is, we've been really excited about sort of how this has gone. I wanted to read one specific, 1 second. I've got a display thing happening. Let's see. This was CBC. CBC's As It Happens. I was surprised what they put in here because I say a lot of things that are pretty. I don't know if you saw the first night's stream. I was on News Nation. They didn't use the quote, but I told them that I just wish Trump would get it over and drop the 67th Airborne, because actual military who have seen real combat would be dropped here, and they'd be so confused why they're here that it would just give lie to the entire thing. But instead, of course, he has to send bigoted, untrained, foolish children in the guise of ICE, or old men, I suppose, in the guise of ICE and the National Guard. You know, what they always have done. Yay, Kent State. Let's have it happen again. So, CBC, though, it started with a few people in inflatable frog costumes protesting outside an immigration center in Portland, Oregon. Then the frogs multiplied. Pretty soon they were joined in solidarity by all manner of inflatable creatures, both real and mythical. Now, whether it's the ongoing protest against immigrants and customs enforcement raids in Portland and Los Angeles, or the massive No King rallies that swept across the U.S. this weekend, the crowds are full of cutesy, cartoonish, colorful chickens, lobsters, dinosaurs, axolotls, unicorns, and more. My favorite is Upside Down Clown, by the way. Upside Down Clown is extremely, extremely undervalued. That's going to be my ongoing thing. The photographs paint a stark contrast to the picture painted by U.S. President Donald Trump and his administration of war-ravaged cities under siege by dangerous rioters. And that, protesters say, is the whole point. We're trying to show how absurd it is when the administration here and leadership of ICE says that the protesters are rabid dogs or violent or whatever. Portland protester Brooks Brown told As It Happens host Neil Coxall. Instead, the reality is they're kids, adults, people of all ages who are just incredibly impassioned, seeing violence being done to those around them, wanting to protect the most vulnerable in our society. Brown's the co-founder of Operation Inflation. That's me, by the way. An organization that takes donations from the public and uses them to buy inflatable costumes. What a stupid project we came up with. You can find them at Portland rallies every single fucking night with a U-Haul full of inflatable suits, doling them out to anyone who wants them. We have Upside Down Clown. See? Upside Down Clown. It's my favorite. We have regular clown. Of course, the famous frog, wiener dog, unicorn, inverted unicorn, blue unicorn, wacky waving, inflatable arm, flailing tube man. Is it tube guy? No, it's tube man. Raccoons, basically anything we can get our hands on. We think the image of these people helps shift the narrative away from the demonizing of protesters to instead showing exactly where the violence is originating. And over again, we're able to see that it is ICE, the police, the leadership who are visiting violence. ICE did not respond to a request for comment. It's so weird to see that after a quote of my own. So fucking weird that freaks me out. Oh, shit. Toronto Metropolitan University professor, that's Canada, who studies protest and social movements. The photos of these costume crusaders are captivating. These are very powerful visual symbols. To me, they're pointing to Trump's inflated ego. There's like a million puns. Like, It's hard. It's genuinely difficult not to just make pun after pun in every one of these fucking interviews. I can't stop myself when I say deflating tension. I have no self-control. It's awful. Camille says the protest tactic serves many purposes, some rhetorical, some downright practical. It serves as a sort of disguise that lowers the barrier to participation in these protests, which is something that has not been, at least in recent history, a problem in Western democratic world. But as the country has been increasingly moving towards more authoritarianism, people are afraid, so they need to disguise themselves to shield themselves from potential legal reprisals and surveillance. Like literal death threats from like everyone. Like it's amazing. It was the first night. Andy posted about me, and multiple people called for my murder. And I'm sure they're not bots. They're on X. Surveillance and demonization of protesters is not a new phenomenon, but it's one she believes Trump is ramping up under Trump. If you wear a baklava or a gas mask or things like that, balaclava. Did I say baklava? Jesus Christ, Brooks. Things like that often states attribute those to criminals. But if you're wearing these funny inflatables, first of all, they can't tell your race. Can't tell if you're a man or woman or child, black, white, or whatever. They can't put you in the same basket as another group. Like, what's a chicken? What's a dinosaur? Especially important, she says, now that Trump has branded Antifa, loose network of anti-fascist organizations and demonstrators, as a terrorist organization. It is a weird feeling to like literally be that now, publicly. We know the White House has talked about us. It's weird. Man, fucking weird. It's a way for the participants to kind of tie Trump hands behind his back, meet him, and fight him with his own rhetoric of mockery. But the protesters' identities are hidden. Their solidarity shines through. Inflatable green alien in New York City on Saturday held a sign that read, "We stand with frogs." A giant inflatable lobster in Boston similarly declared on a placard, "Lobsters stand with frogs." Meanwhile, in Portland, their now mini frogs are standing side by side, with banners that read, "Frogs stronger together." In recent months, Trump and his allies have painted anti-ICE protesters as dangerous and anti-American, especially in cities where he's deploying national troops. Republicans echo those refrains because they're cowards and they fuck kids ahead of Saturday's No King protests against what participants see as the government's swift drift into authoritarianism under Trump, where they like to fuck kids. House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson totally is actually sharing porn with his own son. That's a thing he bragged about on Friday, referred to the No Kings protest in Washington, D.C. as the Hate America rally. That is not exactly what the Nazis said, but they didn't use the word America. Others, like Majority Leader Steve Scalise, have accused protest organizers of stoking an atmosphere that might spur political violence, pointing to signs that read 8647. Largest protest in American history, no violence. None. But the protests on Saturday were, by all reports, peaceful. Police in New York City, Austin, Washington all reported no arrests. Just think about that. Like, fucking crazy. Day after No Kings, Washington Post asked the White House for comment on the costume trend. "It's impressive how these protesters constantly find ways to make themselves look even dumber," spokesperson Abigail Jackson said. Brooks said he isn't worried about this pivot. "The fact they're dismissing it as not serious, to me, screams they think it is serious," he said. "They're very aware no one is dismissing any of the protesters due to this. They're just trying to do anything they can to make us go back to something they can demonize." I believe that too, fuckers. Genuinely, it's been a very weird few days, as you may guess. Obviously, there weren't arrests because the cops are Antifa. Do you know that that's the new thing? That they're saying in Portland, that the cops are Antifa in Portland? So I don't know if you know that's a joke now. Because I don't know if you know it's not a joke, I guess I should say. The right believes that the cops are Antifa. Because there's another side effect of the weird outfits. When these instigators, and we go down there and there's 2 or 3 who are always there. One who has a TRO and isn't allowed to be close. So he films from outside. Boy, does he fucking hate us. Boy, does he hate us. Boy, does he hate us. He instigated an interaction with a protester and a raccoon. I mean, a big inflatable raccoon. And he took a stick from the one protester and he started hitting the raccoon with it. The raccoon grabbed it and hit him back, and he screamed, "He hit me, he hit me, he hit me." And he had the camera angle so you couldn't see that what happened. But the police came around and he went, "He hit me." And they went, "The raccoon?" And they arrested him. It's actually been happening regularly now, is that they're arresting the instigators, because the weird atmosphere that has happened there, people have stopped responding in anger to these guys. They're more like, wait, you're pushing around a dude in a unicorn outfit to what the, like, it so shifts the conversation. It's amazing. It's amazing. So they're just like, they really want everyone to get out of these costumes and go back. They want to make people think that this is trivializing. That's another one that we get a lot. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean like people talk about, we've gotten weird online comments, no one in person. People who actually go to this protest and are actually part of it, they get what we're doing. They're all over it. They don't disagree with any of it. Like they're on board. I should totally read you guys the accidental manifesto. Someone, and I'm going to give him credit, wrote a theory piece. I don't know how else to put it. It's a theory piece, but it is, there it is. Okay. This is Brandon King. This is one of the best things this is one of the best pieces of writing on protesting I've read in a very, very fucking long time. Brandon King, Minnesota 20A. He's running for, I believe, state Congress or Senate. He's having a hell of a run. If you're in Minnesota, go say hi. But he nails this so well that we kind of joke that this is our like accidental manifesto. Because he wrote it for us, and it's so good. You don't beat a spectacle of force by trying to look tougher. You beat it by changing the terrain so thoroughly that force looks like farce. That's what Portland figured out with Operation Inflation. The state came dressed for a war movie. Protesters answered with inflatable frogs. Uniforms are suddenly costumes. The theater shifted, and once the terrain moved, the logic of escalation jammed. That is an appropriate application of Sun Tzu in the wild, not as a quote on a poster, but as a working strategy. The highest form of victory is breaking the enemy's will to fight without even fighting. Every authoritarian project has a cinematic dream. This guy's so fucking good, it's ridiculous. It wants a clean shot of the armored phalanx. It wants night vision bravado, lasers cutting the fog, black-clad silhouettes striding forward against firelight. That's the terrain they crave because it's pure spectacle, a reel you can cut and ship to the base, proof that the Guardians stood tall against chaos. In that film, the antagonist wears a helmet and a balaclava, looks like trouble, obliges the script by squaring up the shield line. It's a staged duel. If you show up to that set in the same costume, you've already agreed to the role they wrote for you. Portland refused the casting call. Operation Inflation did something embarrassingly simple and devastatingly effective. It answered militarized theater with comic theater, and that shift had teeth. The turning point wasn't an explosion of force. It was a single ridiculous image of a bright green inflatable frog wobbling toward a line of federal agents while cameras rolled. The frog got hosed with chemical spray through the suit's intake, and instead of crumpling, kept bouncing. The clip traversed the country, I would say world, in hours. The meaning was non-negotiable that the state had assembled a small army to neutralize a mascot. You could feel the floor slide under the boots. Reporters started calling, cultural writers noticed, organizers formalized the tactic, not as a one-off gag, but as an operational supply line for inflatable suits. That pipeline, christened Operation Inflation, wasn't merely a joke factory. It was a terrain machine. It spread past Portland within days. People hear Sun Tzu and imagine aphorisms floating above the ground like fortune cookie fog. He's more concrete than that. He writes about choosing where to meet the enemy, about bending the field so the enemy's choice becomes a liability. He warns you away from head-on collisions with the opponent's strength and urges you to attack the plan itself. The famous line, Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting is not mysticism. It's logistics of perception. Victory, in his view, is taking away the opponent's reason to fight. And the story they tell about fighting. Operation Inflation did exactly that. It yanked the contest out of the arena of riot control, shoved it into slapstick authoritarianism. A place where escalation makes you look cruel, restraint makes you look irrelevant. Either way, the boots lose altitude. The state's preferred terrain is built on two pillars of menace and ambiguity. Menace is visual, black armor, hard lines, opaque shields. Ambiguity is procedural, foggy rules of engagement, shifting lines, plausible claims of threat. Together, they supply justification after the fact. I'm actually going to show you exactly what he means, because we had Homeland Security tweet about us with a video that's one of the more insane. To me, it exists in that place of like, hold a sec, I want to make sure we get it right. It's like one of the more absurd. Nope, not that one then. 2 seconds, sorry. Did they get rid of it? Come on. There it is. Yeah. This is a real tweet for real from these guys.
We are now in the process of defeating.
I did not edit this. This is literally just from DHS.gov. It's called In the Dark Age, Beginning of the Golden Age. Let me see it there.
The radical left.
I don't know if you saw it. There's a dick. It's a dick. It's a dick. It's a dick and balls. They have a dick and balls. There's a fucking dick and balls. They have a dick and balls. They have a dick and balls, everyone. So that's a dick and balls inflatable, which if you didn't know exists, now you do. That is the head of the penis, the shaft, and the balls. And that is a pink frog. That might be one of our pink frogs. We have Becoming is often our pink frog. I don't think Becoming was there during this. I hope not. Yes, they have. This is like, let's say I was making a joke dystopian film and I hired Tim and Eric to make the fake propaganda from the corporate overlord like Wayland Yutani or something. This is what they'd come up with. Like, how can you possibly...
Cannot withstand my strength, and the warrior will turn back.
These are people that want to destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen.
This is our government. It's one of the most insane things. But, like, here's the thing. This is the point this guy's making. They love this menace and ambiguity, but it doesn't work. You sidestep both. Right here, right here, right here. You sidestep both by installing a visual field where menace turns into parody, where the gear reads as costume. The suits did that. In the presence of a giant frog or dinosaur, the shield becomes a chorus line. Armored agents advance on cartoons. Every baton looks oversized. Every spray can looks absurd. Every chant from the crowd sounds like a laugh track in waiting. The imagery metabolizes the power display into self-mockery. And it does it instantly, before any statement, before any press conference. That's terrain work, not a slogan. And the train traveled. The Washington Post tracked how a viral moment hardened into a project, and local and national outlets mapped its spread to other cities. We had a big piece in Washington Post. That was, I think, the first big one. Yeah. But yeah, that video was... No, George, that video was meant to be really terrifying. And I don't think it works. I don't think it works. You want that link? Sure. I'll post it in... It's a stunning piece. Like, it's just an amazing... Like the top comment, Homeland Security Vaporwave was not on my 2025 bingo card. Yeah, it's a weird time. A lot of people misunderstand what makes that image powerful. It's not because an inflatable offers magic protection. Yes, you can cushion some blunt impacts. Not really. Yes, chemical agents diffuse differently when they hit pressurized air instead of bare skin. If you didn't know, actually, not saying you should go out and get maced in a intake hole in one of these, but it does actually diffuse it. It does change how it works. It doesn't just like fill the air with it. It's different than that. It's really different. One frog said the spray was less brutal than it looked, kept protesting in the suit. He didn't even take the suit off. But the point isn't to upgrade armor. It isn't. It's not to be a tough guy. It's not to be strong and masculine. The point is downgrading threats. You want a field so non-threatening that escalation looks like an unforced error. The physics help just enough to keep the performer upright for the camera. Politics do the rest. Durability of the $40 costume is a small advantage. Demolition of the regime's image is the main event. This is not the first time protest movements have used humor to puncture armor. Deep lineage. Not as nostalgia, but proof of concept. The clandestine insurgent rebel clown army in the mid-2000s engineered scenes where riot police found themselves playing with clowns or being hugged or immobilized by the indignity of being props in a farce. Their insight was that the state trains to meet rage, not ridicule. Rage can be contained, but ridicule spreads. Rage is a reason for force. Ridicule is a reason to leave. That tradition continued in different forms, including the rebel clown actions cataloged by journalists and scholars, all variations on one hard lesson. If you want to make an authoritarian look weak, force him to be the straight man in someone else's comedy. Such a good line. Portland practices for years. We had the Nathan Athena movement during the 2020's federal courthouse standoffs, while the moms under leaf blowers are now an impromptu naked bike ride, rerouted into an anti-troop demonstration after the latest push to push soldiers in the streets. That wasn't frivolity for its own sake. It was a decision to deny the state a reason to fire. It's one thing to charge a line of maxed antagonists. It's another to explain to the country why you shot projectiles at a parade of inflatable animals and bicyclists. The terrain does the talking. It's a really amazing piece, and it goes on and on. I just want to read the last couple bits. Win without fighting isn't magical thinking. It is the most brutal standard you can set for yourself because it requires imagination under pressure. It asks you to look at a line of agents and invent a scene they can't weaponize. It demands you stop measuring victory in the old way, where the loudest person at the barricade wins the night. You measure in reversals of who got the crowd to laugh, who forced the agents to hesitate, who sent the cameras home with footage that makes tyranny look ridiculous. That scoreboard is the one the future will read. If those who dream of jackboot romance want a showdown, starve them of it. If they show up for a cutscene from a video game, park a frog in the frame and let the cameras redraw the story. The uniforms will turn into costumes. Marching will be choreography. Script will fall apart in the actor's hands, and somewhere, behind a shield, a person will realize they have been conscripted into a joke. That moment is worth more than a dozen speeches. It is the crack where sunlight gets in. The tactical lesson is not complicated. You do not have to be the strongest to be the most strategic. You do not need to win on their terms. You need to move the terms. Portland did. The country noticed. The courts have been watching. The rest is follow through to keep the tone human, keep the actions nonviolent, keep the images undeniable, and keep faith with the simple truth that the most effective way to fight fascism is to force it to look like what it is. Insecure power playing dress up for an audience that is starting to laugh. That laugh is not frivolous. It is the sound of fear losing its grip. Just killer. Just killer. It's just killer. Brandon King, MAN 20A. It's an excellent, excellent essay. I'll post it here. Nope, that's not that. That's the same thing I just posted. That's a terrible fucking video. Go give some love to Brandon. And if you're in his area, I highly, highly, highly ask you to go see if you can volunteer for him and help the guy out. Really amazing piece. It's a really amazing piece. So yeah, we've been doing this now for 2 weeks. And it has, to put it lightly, it has been way fucking more work than we thought. And way more people than we thought. All of it. His points about the logistics, the perception is vulnerable to intervention. There's a thing that revolutionaries forget. Like, we happen to be literally in the middle of reading the last 20 pages of Anti-Oedipus. And they're very clear. And I really got emotional. Someone made the comment that Guattari would be proud. And I actually agree. Because we don't have a goal here. We're not trying to do anything except for change that terrain, to fuck with that message, to shift how people talk about these things. Because I believe that the way that most people actually feel about these things when they're confronted with them is the better way. That the fascists win because they utilize fear and they're able to give images of fear. That thing they just showed, if you go back and you look 2 weeks before, they have actual confrontations with, and again, I side with them, with protesters. They've actually found ways to instigate and get people pushing over police lines or all of that shit. All that stuff that I totally get, because they're defending. Antifa only exists as a response. Don't do fascist shit. Antifa goes home. They're not hanging out at the store protesting like Kroger. They're where fascism is. That's what they do. They're anti-fascist. But they're able to use that imagery to get people like my parents, like people who my parents know, my friends' parents, other people I know, because it gets you scared. It hits that moment that you're able to go, oh, that is where oh God, we've got to stop this. I'm scared. I'm fearful. And if we can stop that, because this last one, there's no way this video connected with anybody. This video is not scary at all. And it's actually so overdone. It's confusing. That's the thing we can do. If we can do that, that's the deal. That's the deal. Dark Guano, would I get in trouble for translating it to Spanish and publishing it? Hit him up. He's very cool. He said we can use any quotes from it without asking. He gave us permission for that. You should get your own permission. I am not bestowing that on you. But if you just write him, he's very cool about it. It's a very good piece. It's longer, but it's a very, very good piece. But yeah, it's I guess it's a micro-political revolution. It's the vibe changes, the setup changes, and when we watch, they end up being forced to do things because they still have to exert their power. I'm going to show you. This is actually really difficult to watch. I'm just going to let you know. So you can just sort of I'm just preparing you. This is not cool. So they can't go after these people who are in these ridiculous suits. So how about a blind guy? No, really. How about a blind guy?
A shocking arrest caught on camera. Federal agents dragging away a blind protester at Portland's ICE facility.
Now, protesters caught this video of that controversial arrest on Saturday. Ariel Salk spoke to some of the witnesses.
Yeah, people say he's a delight to bring around, just a joyful energy. How
you been handling critics of the Project Inflation? I mean, honestly, I could care less. If you think, and a lot of these children do, that you must be dressed as like a soldier, fighting a soldier to be taken seriously, you're buying their narrative and you're playing your role to make their narrative true. I can tell you right now, you can look through history. We have, 100-ish years. We can look back and go, hey, look, fascism and authoritarianism keep taking up. Do you know what doesn't work? Fighting it. Like literally fighting it doesn't work because they use that as an excuse to increase the fervor. Because our side, we don't want more violence. Some people generally do, but our side doesn't. That's not what we want. Peace. We want to have people living their lives. So we don't want to ever initiate. So we lose because they actually want everyone else to die. They don't care. Trump's like happy to murder people. They don't give a fuck. Stephen Miller's a Nazi. They don't give a shit. People on our side do. So we lose. So change the terrain. Shift it. Make it so it's not about fighting them, but instead showing how insanely shit they are. Showing how broken they are. Showing how they actually don't have power except the power people give over them. It's perfect.
often out here.
Fighting fascism does not work. I don't know what you think. Like, unless you are another fascist entity, you're free to tell me, like, what you did and how it was taken down, because fascism was taken down by tens of millions of lives by other kind of less fascist but pretty fascist groups, basically fighting and taking, like, what stopped fascism anywhere? Massive groups of people? Sure. It's not how it works now. We know this. It's not how it works now. What happened in Nepal, for example? Huge numbers of unemployed youth and a single capital city. We have too many cities, too many things. If Portland decided, Portland decided to become fascist, yeah, I mean, we could maybe do something here. That's not how this works. Again, these same people have fantasies that, if Trump does more, maybe it'll be a civil war or this or that. They don't understand that the American military doesn't have the capability to do any of those things. All the places they're going to have to go in to stop voting or to do whatever are all blue cities that have tens of millions, millions upon millions of people in them. They couldn't even hold a single Iraqi city for long with, the top troops and a lot more freedom. So it's just shit takes wall to wall. So what ends up happening is, because we're doing this, they're still doing their thing. So watch this. You tell me.
Here dancing. So that's why what they saw this weekend was so shocking.
This was fucked up.
It was heartbreaking to see him being dragged the way he was.
Take a look at these videos.
So, right here is the main gate. What ICE does is they have all of these shitheads, these bigots that come out. They block sort of the way, so that way cars can go in or out, or buses filled with, prisoners. War crimes, basically war crimes. They do this for war crimes or secretaries, or other ICE agents who wear their mask as they drive, and it's really fucking weird. But they try to stop, and so when you're in front, you can't cross this blue line. There's a big blue line, like a big warning sign, that you're not supposed to cross. And as long as you're not in the way of the cars, you're supposed to be fine, right? So this guy, blind dude, wears this, has a fucking cane. He's been around a bunch. There's no way these guys don't know him, or certainly know of him.
Taken from different sides of the ICE building. You can see Quinn Abel, A blind man wearing a neon vest sitting on the side of the
He's holding his
driveway
cane.
to the facility. Next to him is a thick blue line on the ground federal agents made to indicate when protesters are crossing onto federal property, allowing them to arrest people for trespassing.
They're not past the blue line. That's the line that they don't supposed to cross. And he was on the sidewalk.
That's when you see several federal agents circling around him, grabbing him by his limbs, carrying him into the ICE building before losing their grip, causing him to hit his head on the pavement. The video then shows officers dragging him past the gate, with more agents getting involved, cuffing him as the man wiggled on the ground, one agent picking up his white cane.
The visceral reaction was to just not continue videotaping and get the angle, but I just couldn't keep it out. I had to keep him in frame. And it just hurt my heart.
It was shocking. And you can see in the video where I'm very vocal, and then you can see my breath. My breath was taken away. It was like, what threat does that man represent to the agents of the state or property?
I reached out to the Department of Homeland Security. They sent a statement that reads in part, "This rioter was arrested after he blatantly disobeyed law enforcement orders to remain off federal property."
And again, they just lie. We literally can see from the videos our own lion eyes telling us that he was on this side of the line. He wasn't on federal property. He was already where they had said to be. He wasn't even in their way. He didn't block the driveway. He wasn't blocking the driveway. And vehicles were certainly able to go in or out in every single way. So we know he actually was injured. His head was hurt. There's a GoFundMe. There's people doing stuff. We're figuring out what we can do too. But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this cynically. He is a hero. He is someone who is clearly in an exceptionally vulnerable state, yet putting himself on the line and very aware of what that may be. And everyone who does this, every one of those protesters, it doesn't matter. We had a handful in wheelchairs, fully abled, men, women, trans, non-binary, big fat dudes, big little skinny girls, it doesn't matter, parents and children. If you go down there, and having been down there now through a few things, you are immediately aware. You are putting yourself in a place of danger. That he is in that, and he is aware, and they took advantage of that, and they did the thing. It's almost as if it's too perfect. A blind man, they couldn't help but brutalize and clearly violate all of the civil rights of. That's the point. That's the point. That is the imagery that we want. That is the thing we want the world to see. We want to be in a position where people see this, where these things are the only things that can happen. It's this, or it's beating up a wiener dog, or a raccoon, or a unicorn, or a frog. That this is the only option that they have. Because the more they do this, the more people go, what the fuck? What the fuck? And that's what we want. We are at the position, if you didn't know, we are in 1931-32 Weimar Germany. We're at that point. Dachau was the first of the concentration camps, as I understand it. My history on this may be a little shaky. Feel free to correct me. We have Alligator Alcatraz, a place in Florida, in the Everglades, where around 1,000 people, 1,200, I think, what did I find? Like, they're trying to have these conversations and trying to answer these things. 1,200 people vanished from Alligator Alcatraz's facility. 1,200 people vanished. That's it, right? Like, if you don't know, that's how the concentration camps in Germany started. Our concentration camp, they lost 2/3 of the people there Oopsie. Did they lose them? Really? A lot of people think that the Germans didn't really know about the concentration camps till after or later. No. In 1932, when it opened to great acclaim exactly the same ways that Alligator Alcatraz did. Absolutely every single fucking thing about this entire thing is so mirroring the entire thing. It's fucking insane to me. He created the Gestapo, a secret state police specifically to target the unwanteds and the illegals, who were at the time the Jews, but also homosexuals, a whole bunch of other ones. And this was done because the parliament and the judiciary ceded control of, they had a constitution, they had a bunch of rules about shit, but ceded control to der Führer. And they did this through the Reichstag Fire Decree. A lot of people think that the Reichstag Fire Decree, was about, cracking down on freedom of speech and assembly and privacy. But a lot of people forget that part of that was eliminating judicial review of arrests and detentions and convictions. That's literally what Trump has done. They've done that. That's what this did. This is now where they have a legal basis for what they called protective custody. What they said is the ability to imprison these people, specifically only these people. Promise it won't be anyone else. Wink, wink. Until whenever, without any trial, without anything. And that thing was legalized, and it was used through legal language. Trump's plan is exactly what the fucking Nazis did. Not in a step by step, but literally the way they went about it is literally what the Nazis did. That's the thing. They formed this group, ICE, and they recruited a whole bunch of people who were out of work and angry and very German and also bigoted as fuck. And they used them to brutalize people, mostly brutalizing them publicly in the streets when they were arrested, then disappearing them and no one in their family knowing where. And it started really, really small, but then it had a fuck ton and ultimately got their way. That's the way it worked. That's what it did. So 1933, March 1933, Dachau opened. If you don't know about Dachau, I'm not going to tell you about it because it makes me really, really sad. Really sad. But within a few months, they were in the thousands of people being held there in this protective custody, which is, by the way, very similar wording to what the Trump administration uses in almost every single way. And then they started building more improvised camps, which is what they're doing right now. They began by targeting these illegal citizens, right? They're targeting these illegal citizens. They then moved to communists, Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals, social democrats, unionists, political opponents in any way of the Nazi regime. Just like Trump is doing now. Just like Trump is doing now. In every single way. By calling Antifa, I'm Antifa. By calling Antifa terrorist org, it means he can, according to the laws, as he's allowed to interpret them, do whatever the fuck he feels like. He has said outright that he doesn't care if there's, no reason to blow up boats. He's just going to kill people. Did you see this shit? This was the most insane. It's getting worse and worse and worse. It's continually insane. But, he had a handful of quotes today that I was like, well, that's a little bit much, buddy. You having fun? You having fun there? One sec. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. This is fucking, this shit broke my fucking head. This was crazy. Trump says, and I'm going to play it so you can see it, but I just want to say it out loud. I don't think we're necessarily going to ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. We're going to kill them. They're going to be like dead.
On the operations.
No, we will go. I said.
You will go, and
we
it would
will
be
go.
difficult for them to object.
I don't see any Lawson going. No reason not to. You know, they'll always complain, oh, we should have gone. So we're going to definitely, I'd like to just tell you, let's go. We'll go.
And Mr.
We're going to tell them what we're going to do, and I think they're going to probably like it, except for the radical left lunatics.
And Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay?
Extrajudicial murders for no reason, ordered by a single person in power, is strictly what the Reichstag Act did. This is what he's dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. This is the thing he did. He had a lot of great quotes today, but this one stands out for me. This one stands out for me. What happened is, over time, these concentration camps, which by the way just means improvised living spaces where you concentrate a population. That's it. We've associated the silliness of this term specifically with the Holocaust, which is the worst thing because we called them the Japanese internment camps. They were called concentration camps at the time. We don't like saying that now because it makes it seem like it might have been, you know, an immoral thing for us to do. And we don't want people thinking that. But what happened is over time, they had this larger system growing and they began, as the SS became a thing, which ICE, as it merges into something new, is on its way to becoming, as ICE and the FBI are working together, by the way. It's terrifying. Terrifying. These camps sort of exist in a legal no man's land. In Nazi Germany, they ended up with a bunch of these camps, but then they began to sort of figure out how to centralize a handful of them and begin to process people. And that system required a huge bureaucracy. And we have that. America has that as a thing. The documents with formats and keeping things. The reason people are lost is because it ends there. And they're lying. That's what the Nazis did. When people were dying there, they just went, hey, we don't know. We don't know. But they do know. Because there's no way you can have a system where someone is put in a camp after being on a bus and someone has driven them and you know how many there are and you check it off. There's paper trails for all of this. Bureaucracy is core to any complex system. So they're actually just lying and we know it. After all, again, they fuck kids. It's what they do. They lie because they fuck kids. I mean, you don't want to hang out with people who fuck kids all the time. And so what we forget is that all of this we hear now, because in the United States, people don't like to talk about it, but these camps were not secret. Dachau was like super big in the press. They did like tours of it. It was a big thing. It was a propaganda mill that demonized prisoners as traitors to Germany, as degenerates, murderers. You know, the stuff. I mean, again, literally the things they're just doing again. And the fact that Dachau was announced in the German press, the fact that they had big opening ceremonies, they had huge articles on it. I was going through and I found one from like 1936. It's like crazy, like big cheers for it. And it's like, they knew. The Germans knew about it. The Germans knew about Dachau early on. They said that it was rumors. It's just rumors that people disappeared. Sure, they couldn't figure it out and everyone kind of knew someone. It was kind of, oh, geez. But yeah, you know, it's just rumors. Is that familiar to anyone here? When families would seek information about relatives who disappeared, the response was that they had no information. at all. They didn't have anything until further notice, or they simply would not respond at all. Families would be informed if the person was like really prominent or the press really went after it. Sometimes they'd have a cause of death they would give, which was always bullshit. Things like shot while trying to escape or heart attack, right? But they would never return the body, just like us. We're doing Nazi shit now. This is it. Hitler took power in 1933. This is the first thing he did in his first year, was open these concentration camps, begin this bureaucracy, create this secret police and the Reichstag fire, and eliminate the ability for judicial review so he could execute who he wants. Literally what Trump's doing. This is not, 4 years ago, hey, Trump would want to do this. Hey, Trump might do this. No. Trump is doing this. This is mirroring absolutely what happened in the Holocaust and what Nazis did. Hilariously, Israel is on the side of it. That's a lesson. The reality of all of this is that we know what happens. We know what happens. We know what happens. But we also know what doesn't work. And if you've spent time, and a lot of people who've spent a great deal of time talking about rebellions, revolutions, protest culture, how it's come about, they've done articles on Operation Inflation, on these things, and they're very clear. You do not fight fire with fire because fire wins, and that ain't yours. There aren't enough of us. We're not spread out enough. We're not large enough. There's no waking up America. That's not how it works. Changing the conversation so that way people at every step of the bureaucracy don't feel the fear or the drive. They feel instead that they can't take part. I want to read Admiral. I don't know if you saw this. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This was a big deal. Halsey was a big fucking deal. This is how you win, by the way. One sec. I gotta find it. Where is it? Wait. Come on. Where the fuck is his piece? Did it get taken down? I hate the internet now so much. It's like fucking useless. You guys know the piece I'm talking about. Please, someone help me. Please, dear God, someone fucking help me. Had someone tell me 2 days ago, MAGA isn't Nazi because they're Zionists. Yeah, I mean, why would anyone ever think that like a group that marries religion to nationalism over the piece of a specific land and race would be anything like a Nazi? Where the fuck is this piece? Jesus Christ, come on. Why can't I find this? This is so frustrating. This happened literally last week, and I can't find news of it right now. God damn it. Well, I'm not able to find it right now. God, the internet's fucking broken. 92 fucking... I was right. I'm always right about Oreos. Guy retired in the last week, wrote an opinion piece basically saying, I can't be part of this. This is not America anymore. We're extrajudiciously killing people, doing strikes, murdering people. And it's bad enough that they're killing random people without any proof. They're saying, oh, they're drug runners. Yet, 2 dudes survive one of them, and we sort of just like give them back to Venezuela because that's what you do with drug runners. It's like all bullshit. It's all lies at every step of the way, and they don't know what else to do except to lie. Leave them like that. Let them not know what to fucking do. That's the point. Because they'll flail like a motherfucker. They'll flail like this shit.
Just say, Mr. President, that this country was going to die without you. This country was going to actually die without you. That's what we were facing in 2024. We've been invaded for 4 years.
This is Stephen Miller.
Let me just say, Mr. President, that this country was going to die without you. This country was going to actually die without you. That's what we were facing in 2024. We've been invaded for 4 years. Our communities were sinking. Our public safety had gone to zero. Cartels were running entire communities. Sex trafficking, child trafficking, labor trafficking was out of control. Overdoses were out of control. The cartels were claiming more and more territory. City services were buckling. This was a country on the verge of dying. And
it is dying. He's actually murdering it and sucking the marrow out of its fucking corpse. Sorry, it's underage young girl corpse. America's a little old for Trump.
A memo circulating, Secretary Hegseth, sir, a memo circulating on social media details the establishment of a National Guard response force that's going to be trained in crowd control and civil unrest and deployed in all 50 states by April of 2026. Can you verify the authenticity of that memo, and do you have any more information on the operations?
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have multiple layers of National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10, active duty.
And here's the thing to remember. They're not going to be able to do this. So everyone's scared and terrified of this idea of like, oh, he's going to send the military in. Where? Like how, what the fuck? You put military on the ground in any of these cities. You're going to have to put them in another one. Do you know how big Chicago is? Like bigger than Kabul. Like they couldn't do Kabul. How many fucking National Guard shits are you going to have there? And it's so fucking crazy that they're thinking that this is real. But they, again, are getting away with it because people LARP against them. They join in that fight. They join in this fantasy, and they play their role just perfectly. They play the role just perfectly.
Can you the founder of Binance?
CZ from Binance was pardoned today. It is one of the most, everything Trump does is flatly corrupt. But the idea that he pardoned CZ, who absolutely helped get his coin, his scams going, it's absolutely stunning that he's able to do this with a straight face.
Can you explain why you chose to pardon him, and did it have anything to do with his involvement in your
Which
family's?
one? Who is that?
The founder of Binance. He has a involvement in your own family's crypto
one, yes,
business.
I believe we're talking about the same person because I do pardon a lot of people. I don't know. He was recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that. Are you talking about the crypto person? A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail.
He pled guilty, Binance at large admitted to the guilt, and it was really, really clear that they did the things, and it was very obvious.
They say that he was not guilty of anything, that what he did, well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. But let me just tell you.
This is good. He's getting insulty and losery. Like, this is loser insults. This is what you want. This is what you want from this fucking weird old doddering fart.
That he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him.
Yeah.
But I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support. And
we're going to, just because it's worth a moment. Coffeezilla did a breakdown of it, and I think it's
Trump just pardoned CZ, the founder of Binance. Bro, I am so cooked. My career is over. Don't worry about that, right? Just look at the facts, please, for a moment. It all starts November 21st, 2023, okay? Binance and Changpeng Zhao both plead guilty in a historic $4 billion plea deal.
$4 billion plea deal. Which means they were, at best, they were terrified they'd lose more than $4 billion and go to jail. Just think about the level of fucked that is.
Where basically they admitted they didn't really have anti-money laundering controls, and they kind of willfully looked the other way, specifically in regards to people they probably should have not allowed them to use their platform, such as, according to the charges, terrorists, cyber criminals, and child abusers.
Some of the largest child sex rings and traffickers that are known all used Binance, and Binance very much like winked and looked the other way and took the cash. It's insane.
Which, you probably should block those people from using your platform. Now, on April 30th, 2024, Zhao is officially sentenced to 4 months of prison. And of course, a few months later, Donald Trump takes office, wins the presidency, okay? And while he's winning the presidency, he also announces the launch of something called World Liberty Financial, which is kind of their big crypto project entry. And this will become important in a moment. But before we get to that, let's just talk about something that happens on March 12th, 2025. This is about a year after he gets sentenced to prison. All of a sudden, you have a big investor come in and put tons of money into Binance. It's a company
out of Abu Dhabi, the Middle East,
called MGX, and they invest a $2 billion stake into Binance. And specifically, they say they're going to do it in crypto. What kind of crypto is not announced. Now, the next day, it's reported by the Wall Street Journal that Binance has been reaching out to allies of Trump since the year before, in talks to strike a business deal with the family as part of a return of the exiled company to the U.S. It says the possibilities include the Trumps taking a stake in Binance or the deal going through World Liberty Financial. So,
World Liberty Financial is, by the way, Trump's crypto venture with his kids. In case you didn't know.
Already you're hearing little rumblings that, okay, maybe they're trying to do a special deal with Binance. And pretty soon we're going to hear talks of the pardon come up. But while that's happening, March 25th, 2025, World Liberty Financial announces a stablecoin. Now, if you don't know, stablecoins are like this incredible business because you just farm a bunch of yield from treasury bills while people use your stablecoins. The major players are USDT and USDC. It's important to note it's incredibly hard to launch a stablecoin. People don't like using new stablecoins. And so when they launched, a lot of people thought, well, how are they going to get off the ground from nothing? I mean, yes, it's the president's stablecoin, but what are they going to do to really make it?
And just to say out loud, it's the president of the United States stablecoin as a sentence. That's how you know you're in hell. That's how you know we're in hell. That's what hell is. That's hell. The president's stablecoin. That's fucking hell. That's fucking hell. It's fucking hell. What the fuck? President's fucking stablecoin. Are you fucking...
A splash? Well, we got the answer on May 1st, 2025, because it turns out that Abu Dhabi investment into Binance, that $2 billion deal, it was all done through USD1. Now, there's no reason to do it in this currency.
Get it? Fuck. Fuck.
You could have done it in BNB. That would actually make a lot more sense. Put it in Binance's own crypto coin. No, the only reason you would do it in USD1 is to really help out one person or one player, which is World Liberty Financial, which is Trump's crypto project. Because, of course, as we said, these stablecoins are backed by treasuries. And unless you redeem the $2 billion, if you just hold it in USD1, what you're doing is de facto making the World Liberty Financial Group about $60 to $80 million a year because they're just farming the yield.
You're giving Trump and his shitty family $68 million a year by doing this deal in their stablecoin.
From the treasuries at 3 to 4%, right? So it's $60 to $80 million in risk-free revenue for World Liberty Financial just due to the fact that this $2 billion deal was put in USD1. Very curious, right? Why would they do that except to maybe curry favor? Well, a few days later, Binance CZ announces that he applied for a Trump pardon. Right? Oh, interesting timing, right? Right as they're announcing that it was all done in USD1. The next month, World Liberty Financial announces they're partnering with PancakeSwap and they're doing a $1 million reward trading campaign to increase USD1 usage. Now, of course, this is all once again associated with Binance. Now, on September 15th, 2025, we all of a sudden hear that there may have been some favors being done, or at least the appearance of favors being done in that big deal where the $2 billion investment, as I said, part of it was MGX. Now, what was discovered by the New York Times is that right at the time that they were making this big investment into Binance, of course, which benefits World Liberty Financial immensely, they all of a sudden get access to a bunch of special AI chips. This is according to the New York Times. One of the Sheikh's investment firms would deposit $2 billion into World Liberty Financial, a startup founded by the Witkoffs and Trumps. 2 weeks later, the White House agreed to allow the UAE access to hundreds of thousands of the world's most advanced and scarce computer chips, a crucial tool for the...
It's not even... It's just flatly pay to play, $80 million a year, give us this, whoring out the entirety of everything, and giving it to some of the worst actors in the world. Like, that's the thing. It's not even like corruption that, like, who gives a fuck because it doesn't do anything. It's giving the shit to the worst actors on the planet.
A high-stakes race to dominate artificial intelligence. Many of the chips would go to G42, controlled by the same sheik. Interesting. So one side of that deal got a benefit, right? MGX. Now, of course, there are a bunch of disclaimers in this piece that, everybody's saying that there was no conflict of interest. This just sort of happened to work out. The official quote is that the deal was totally unrelated to any government business. But now we know one side of the deal.
It all took place in the same 2 weeks, but it's totally unrelated.
GX got something. And now the question is, what does Binance get out of holding this USD1, right? Why don't they just redeem it for cash? Why don't they just put the money into stablecoins themselves, farm the yield themselves, that $60 to $80 million we were talking about, use it for something? Well, on October 11th, remember we had that hyper liquid whale that we were saying, maybe insider trading with the whole timing of the Trump tweet. Well,
there's a guy who basically destroyed crypto and took like $1 trillion of value out of the market inside of 6 minutes. And tens of billions of dollars of people got completely liquidated, mostly day traders, all for this insider large firm.
Well, interestingly, they are linked to a Polymarket account called Big Winner 01. And a couple weeks ago, they started betting on will Trump pardon Changpeng Zhao in 2025, which was a really kind of like wild bet at the time, like by the end of 2025, because there were only a couple months left, right? But then, all of a sudden, of course, October 23rd, 2025, we get the last leg of this deal. Trump, of course, pardons convicted Binance founder. And it's important to note, once again, just like the MGX deal, the White House is, of course, denying that it had anything to do with some of these crypto deals. Instead,
of course,
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says that Trump exercised his constitutional authority in issuing a pardon, who was prosecuted by the Biden administration and their war on cryptocurrency. The Biden administration's war on crypto is over. But again, what we saw is that the actual charges had nothing to do with, like, politics. Instead, all the charges were related.
No, the charges had nothing to do with, like, crypto. It was not stopping money laundering and actually encouraging it openly and talking about it. Like, there were some quotes where it was like, I guess we could stop the money, but then we would lose profit. Oh, I don't want to do that. It was shit like that. Like, it was like insanely not giving a fuck. Like, it's
to anti-money laundering and allowing money to go to basically criminals. They had chats from the chief compliance officer of Binance noting that they should probably not allow money to Iran, North Korea, Syria, Cuba, and Crimea. So, yeah, they kind of had him dead to rights. That is why it was such a big deal. And now, basically, that's being kind of wiped away here. The Wall Street Journal first reported on the pardon, says it will likely pave the way for Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, to return to the U.S. after the company pled guilty. And really, my problem here is, okay, if you want to say, look, we're trying to do less of the crypto, like, enforcement stuff.
It's awful. It's just awful.
And they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime, that he was persecuted by the Biden administration. And so I gave him a pardon at the request of a lot of very good people. The country is not allowed to have tariffs. If this country is not allowed to have the president of the United States negotiate on behalf of it with tariffs, we are put in a position where we're going to be a third world country. We can't let that happen. I think it's the most important. This country is the cases we've ever had. With tariffs, we're a rich, secure country. Without tariffs, we're a laughingstock. We'll be a laughingstock. And
this is someone who doesn't understand economics or business at all. Embarrassing.
Indulge me. On the pardon of Changpeng Zhao, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name, Binance has significant business interests with World Liberty Financial, the president's family's crypto company. How do you respond to the allegations from Democrats that this is a corrupt act?
I would respond and say the president is exercising his constitutional authority to grant clemency requests. And the president and the White House have a very thorough examination of every pardon request that comes to the president's desk. It is thoroughly reviewed by the White House Counsel Office, and I spoke with our great White House counsel about the pardon after it happened. This was an overly prosecuted case by the Biden administration.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's this is where we're at. This is the end of things. But it's not going to end like they think. They don't understand how any of this shit works. They don't understand how all of this shit works. It's insane.
He was challenging the integrity of the election by saying almost exactly what you're saying about him now. Why do you think he's going to steal the election?
What I'm telling you is you can just look back in his own history, back to 2020, after the election, when he claimed fraud, he claimed it had been stolen from him. And he and Michael Flynn discussed, and Michael Flynn very publicly talked about, maybe we should use troops and go in and seize the ballot boxes and count the votes. You don't think Donald Trump heard that and thought maybe that's a good idea? And here we are. He's sending troops onto the streets of American cities, into blue states in blue cities, and he's calling it about crime, but that's not at all what it's about.
Now that you are somehow challenging the integrity of the next election.
No, he is challenging the integrity of the next election, but yes, he is challenging the integrity of the next election by sending troops into our cities. That's what I believe this is about. It isn't about fighting crime. He said he's going after the worst of the worst. That is not what they're doing. They are literally going after black and brown people because of the color of their skin. All you have to do is go online and look at some of the videos, just to be clear, because I think many people that are listening maybe haven't seen that before.
You don't think you're painting with a broad brush of all the ICE agents that are doing their job?
No, we're saying that if you're an ICE agent and you do these things, we think you ought to be held accountable. And yet,
if you work for ICE in any capacity at this point, maybe 2-3 months ago, you're fucking in the IT department or a secretary, or you work in the kitchen or janitorial staff. At this point, if you're part of it, you will be seen by history and you will need to be accounted for. At this point, there's no way around it.
Some alleged smugglers have survived some of these recent strikes and been sent back to their home country. If they're terrorists, why not just arrest and detain them?
Go ahead.
2 points on that. First, when I served in Iraq in 2005 and 2006, we used to in sort of a gallows humor way, talk about the Iraqi catch and release program, the reality that we would catch a lot of people, hand them over, and then they would be recycled back through, and we'd have to recapture them or attack them again. And that's why changing the dynamic and actually taking kinetic strikes on these boats ought change the psychology of these foreign terrorist organizations. To those two that survived the shot on the semi-submersible, think again, compared to Iraq and Afghanistan, the vast majority of people that we captured on the battlefield, we handed over to the home country. Did we always like how it shaped out? Sometimes we did.
Again, it's like that he's equating these, I think, shows his lack of understanding of all of the things. How cooked are we? I think in my lifetime we will see significant upheaval, but I am actually not, I'm not one to believe that the United States is going to descend into pure fascism and civil war and all of these things and fantasies that people have. I think it's going to be very different, and I think most people are not going to be okay with civil war on their doorstep. Most people don't understand it. They're going to look outside and not be sure what the fuck's going on, and there just aren't enough troops. And the troops that we do have, the military we do have, we're seeing that there is such significant unrest just within the troops themselves. I can't foresee them actually obeying Hegseth at a big level, or Trump, despite being right-wing. Military exists in America in a very weird, fucked up way that I'm not super happy about, but I'll tell you one thing they don't do, and it's this. So they're in a really fucked up place. And I think it's going to be really weird. It's going to be weird. It's just going to be weird. It's unbelievable.
Property, obstructed law enforcement, and continued to block.
If I've seen the interviews of people at DHS job fairs, no. This seems like it would be hilarious. Is it more recent? Suresh, you're going to send me a link, aren't you? Send me a link. Send me a link. Smiling Friends, new season is out. I highly recommend it. Link up. What the fuck is that? Up? What the fuck? Smiling Friends is amazing.
We are at a recruitment fair for ICE. I want to talk to folks and see who wants to be a deportation officer and why.
I'm a college student, recently graduated.
A former flight attendant.
I did 8 years in the Marine Corps. Doors haven't even opened yet, and already there's a line of more than 100 people waiting to get in. I saw this event advertised on ICE's social media account. The benefits they're offering are pretty extensive. There's an up to $50,000 signing bonus, $60,000 in student debt reduction, up to 25% overtime rate. The Trump administration is adding tens of billions of dollars to the budget and is trying to make immigration enforcement really the center of law enforcement in this country right now. This is the Esports Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's usually a space for gamers. Today, ICE is hiring for a variety of different positions.
Ryko, holy shit. Ryko, you're fantastic. Thank you very much. All right, let's see if I can do this in order. Pasamadati, Maxwell, bunch of numbers. Fedor Bizrukov, Malicious Communicators. Lisa is a blogger. Juniper Revi, Exenium Resonator, Food for Thought with Olivia Maynard, Lady Kakiri, Noxocast, Ego Death Stranding, Lucia, Ben W, Anthro Marks, Meshugginer, Dan Stan, Pillow for Bears, Nathan, Eduardo, Muffin 86. Oh, not Meshugginer. Meshugginer was already a member. Thank you, and welcome to the collective.
The lines have been the longest for deportation officers. That has the lowest bar to entry. College degree is not necessarily required, and ICE is trying to hire 10,000 deportation officers.
Which isn't enough. Like, if you haven't seen, every night at the Portland ICE facility, and this goes 24 hours a day, they have 20 to 30 soldiers, ICE soldiers, stationed, ready to go out and come back in. So just think about that. The shifts, the number of people you're talking about, that's 150 just at that one ICE transfer station where there isn't actually a lot going on. I have personal reason to celebrate. I was buying drinks for my friends at the bar last night. It's my way to get back to you. Oh, aren't you sweet, Reiko? Well, thank you.
Signage behind me says, defend the homeland.
And do celebrate. Glad you got a reason.
What were the attractions of working for ICE?
I'm very patriotic. You know, guarding.
You keep hearing ICE's? Oh, what is her name? Michelle. It doesn't matter. Michelle Wolf. It's great. This is great.
Are you
This is amazing. Michelle Wolf, who, if you never really got into, she did the Correspondents' Dinner a few years ago. It was phenomenal. She's phenomenal. And this is fantastic.
Worried about your country? Do you feel like your land is being...
Well, this is the first time around with Trump. Michelle Wolf is fantastic. Michelle Wolf is fantastic. Oh, no. Highlights. I want to just get through there's a handful of best bits. She fucking nailed the whole thing, though. Maybe we watch the whole thing. Fuck it.
She's not really a political comedian by training.
Genuinely, this upset so many fucking people when it came out. If you never saw this, that skit was funny. I think she's hilarious. This made me laugh so hard.
All right, this is long. This has been long. Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Here we are, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like a porn star says when she's about to have sex with a Trump, let's get this over with. Yep, kiddos, this is here getting tonight. I'm gonna skip a lot of the normal pleasantries. We're at a Hilton, it's not nice. This is on C-SPAN, no one watches that. Trump is president, it's not ideal. The White House Correspondents' Association, thank you for having me. The monkfish was fine. And just a reminder to everyone, I'm here to make jokes. I have no agenda. I'm not trying to get anything accomplished. So everyone that's here from Congress, you should feel right at home.
I think she's great.
Before we get too far, a little bit about me. A lot of you might not know who I am. I'm 32 years old, which is an odd age. 10 years too young to host this event, and 20 years too old for Roy Moore. I know, he almost got elected. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Because he fucked a kid. Because that's what they do. It's fun. It's fun.
Honestly, I never really thought I'd be a comedian, but I did take an aptitude test in 7th grade, and this is 100% true. I took an aptitude test in 7th grade, and it said my best profession was a clown or a mime. Well, at first it said clown, and then it heard my voice and was like, or maybe mime. Think about mime. And I know, as much as some of you might want me to, it's 2018, and I'm a woman, so you cannot shut me up. Unless you have Michael Cohen wire me $130,000. Michael, you can find me on Venmo under my porn star name, Reince Priebus.
Oh, it was so fun. She made everyone uncomfortable. Her, Colbert was the other great one. If you haven't watched like the great Correspondents' Dinners, Colbert was fantastic. Like people got up and left. It was like really broke decorum. There was like Chinese leadership was there, and the ambassador to China and the ambassador to America from China, and he said something like, I want to thank the ambassador for China being here and making all of the plastic garbage that we put in our Happy Meals. It was just like the most offensive. Oh, shit. What happened to Colbert? He became mainstream and he stopped being, Norm Macdonald was amazing too. It happens when you get mainstream. It shifts. Like, again, Colbert, I think he still has it in him, but it's tougher. It's tougher. Like, go watch Strangers with Candy and realize that's Stephen Colbert. And that's the guy who's like not able to handle jokes as well on the Tonight Show now, which is so weird. Link to Colbert? Sure. Here is, we'll watch a few moments of Colbert. He really pissed Trump off that night. If you don't remember it, it was wild.
Wow. Wow, what an honor. The White House Correspondents' Dinner. To actually, to sit here at the same table with my hero, George W. Bush. To be this close to the man. I feel like I'm dreaming. Somebody pinch me. You know what? I'm a pretty sound sleeper. That may not be enough. Somebody shoot me in the face. Is he really not here tonight? Damn it. By 2008, well, this president has a very forward-thinking energy policy. Why do you think he's down on the ranch cutting that brush all the time? He's trying to create an alternative energy source. By 2008, we will have a mesquite-powered car.
He's so mean, this whole thing.
I just like the guy. He's a good Joe. Obviously loves his wife. Calls her his better half. And polls show America agrees. And she's a true lady and a wonderful woman.
That was back when the president actually used to go to these. Man, what a different world. Different fucking world. Conan was good. They've always been pretty good, but Jesus. Yeah, it's a dark time.
Guarding America, guarding the homeland.
When I saw Uncle Sam pointing that finger, I just had it in my heart. And you're thinking, look at this guy. He's an immigrant. He wants to become a deportation officer. Doesn't make any sense to you. Makes 100% sense to me.
Now, if you don't remember the, 1 second. Who was it?
It is wonderful.
It was so fucking weird to watch.
Wonderful to be here at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What a week. As some of you heard, the state of Hawaii released my official long-form birth certificate. Hopefully, this puts all doubts to rest. But just in case there are any lingering questions, tonight, I'm prepared to go a step further. Tonight, for the first time, I am releasing my official birth video.
This Trump was so mad.
Now, I warn you.
He's such a fucking loser. Can you imagine not laughing at that? Like, what kind of fucking fat loser? Oh, yeah, that's right. The kind. Let's see, this was 2016. He was probably terrified of Jeffrey turning on him at this point. I mean, I would be.
No one has seen this footage in 50 years. Not even me. But let's take a look.
A good sense of humor right there. It's funny.
That was a joke. That was not my real birth video. That was a children's cartoon. Call Disney if you don't believe me. They have the original long-form version.
This is why people liked him.
There's a vicious rumor floating around that I think could really hurt Mitt Romney. I heard he passed universal health care when he was governor of Massachusetts. Someone should get to the bottom of that. And I know just the guy to do it. Donald Trump is here tonight.
It's like in this moment, there's an old Family Guy sketch of like Hitler's like this weak guy in the gym, and these two like gorgeous, bikini girls go over to this like rabbi guy who's like jacked, and he pushes Hitler down, and Hitler's like, "That's it, I'm going to kill all the Jews." And it's like a joke about the moment. Is this the moment? Is this the moment where it's like, this is why we have Nazis now, is because Obama made this joke? It's entirely possible, this thin-skinned weirdo.
Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Look, everyone knows he's a thin-skinned loser. Look at them all looking like, what's he doing? Oh my God.
All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience.
Fuck, I don't care. I love that.
About your credentials and breadth of experience. For example,
they all laugh.
Just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
Jesus.
Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there.
It's not even funny anymore because it's true. It's true now. Well, that's fucked up. That's funny now, though. That's weird. Man, back to the ICE interviews.
We're seeing a bit of the speed and scale that the Trump administration is trying to move at. They're moving people in and out assembly line style. They're offering drug testing on site, and they're even saying that you could walk out of here with a tentative offer letter to start a new job at ICE.
I was able to get an offer today. I accepted, and then I went and did all my process, my fingerprinting and my drug testing. Background check is next, and then of course training.
And again, if anyone's doing this, history will look at you. Because this shit is not going to succeed. We're going to come out the other side. There's going to end up being some kind of reckoning. It's going to have to be severe, and it's going to have to be grand. And everyone's names we know. Like, you're not, like, this is 1,200 people have disappeared from a concentration camp created by people who the Nazis voted for. And we know all of we will, like, this is, that's it. We know.
There's a lot of
I appreciate the sign. Trump is a pedo, because he was.
Criticism of...
I mean, he probably can't get erect anymore, so I'm not too worried about it these days, but, you know, maybe he is.
ICE and its tactics in enforcing immigration law. You can hear the protesters behind me shouting at applicants as they walk in, calling them Nazis and fascists, and even identifying them by name. They're looking up people's license plate numbers. So are you worried about being called a Nazi?
You know, I don't mind risking my freedom to safeguard yours.
You're not safeguarding anyone's fucking freedom, Baldy. Sorry.
ICE has become kind of a really polarizing agency.
This is a father and son. You can't fight together.
And it reflects the...
Can you imagine being a person of color and joining ICE? Like, it's just amazing.
The big divides within America. It's a flashpoint for how people feel about Trump's mass deportation agenda.
Not sure what the minimum age goes. Trump bragged about going into Miss Teen USA pageants while the girls were undressing so he could see them naked. He bragged about this.
Here I go anti-anything. Oh, oh.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for the 12 months Insomnia Noir.
We are at a recruitment fair for...
It's, yeah.
For ICE.
And again, as this goes, as this continues, it is what it is, and it will continue. I saw this, dude, this was fucking, this was something. Because the AI stuff, this is,
Zoran Mamdani's opponents want you to believe he's an inexperienced radical.
So this is, if you didn't know, Andrew Cuomo, who, another sex offender, Republican, which is amazing, who has spent more money than God to keep women quiet. Ooh, I want to send the kill shot real quick. The kill shot, Mamdani. Zoran.
Insomnia Noir super chatted $10. What are the odds that an ICE benefit is a discount code for Blue Chew?
Andrew Cuomo has had some really bad debate moments, but there was one specifically that I was like, for fuck's sake. Where is it? Fuck. Really, just frustrating. All right, let me see if I can find it. One sec on maybe Reddit. God damn. Like, nothing's able to be found anywhere. Is that just how everything works now? Like, it's just everything's useless. Come on. Yep, it's going to be on Reddit. Excellent. This is one of the most, like, this is an orbital strike in terms, like, what it looks. I don't even understand why you would be in the race after this fucking moment. Like, this is the end of things as far as I'm concerned. It's like, what the fuck? Sometimes there are kill shots in debates. Zoran has had a few on Cuomo. Like, he's getting brutalized in the polls. Every fucking one of these debates, he's losing 5 or 10 points to Zoran. He's just destroying him. But this was like next level.
13 different women who worked in your administration credibly accused you of sexual harassment. Since then, you have spent more than $20 million in taxpayer funds to defend yourself, all while describing these allegations as entirely political. You have even gone so far as to legally go after these women. One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening. You sought to access her private gynecological records. She cannot speak up for herself because you lodged a defamation case against her. I, however, can speak. What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
Like, his response is like, they don't have the whole response here, but his response is hilarious.
If you want to be in government, then you have to be serious and mature.
Mr. Cuomo, you have to be serious and mature. Oh. I mean, again, I have empathy for Cuomo in the sense of like that. I feel that pain is so fucking palpable and brutal, and the cringe is so physical. And I just can't believe he keeps doing it to himself. I just presume he's like secretly like trying to get Zoran like elected. It's so ruthless. It's so fucking ruthless. And Mamdani's amazing. Yes, Mamdani is talented. He's wonderful. He's very fast on his feet. He's very clever. He's very, very good at this, but Jesus Christ. So Cuomo put this out. If you haven't seen it, this is like the most racist thing I've ever seen. Like it's an AI generated ad that Cuomo's campaign posted, but then deleted. And it's just, here's the thing. You have plausible deniability when you have like people on the street who are like actors, and it's like, hey, why'd you get a black guy for that role? You have plausible deniability there. With an AI, remember, everything has to be prompted. Like you can't type, for example, you can't just type pimp and get like, as you'll see if I can't. It's like, I'm just looking, it's like someone typed in a pimp named Slickback. It's like what they typed is fucking crazy. This whole thing's nuts.
Whose policies will make New York City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy. He's just trying to even the playing field.
You know, give everyone a fair shot. Sure, he said multiple times we need to defund the police.
So fucking Cat Williams fucking pimp shit happening right here is all I can think is pimp named Slickback. If you haven't seen Boondocks.
But that was just a metaphor.
And yes, he did say crime is a social construct, but that was also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such as
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting. Third-degree assault. Trespassing. Prostitution.
Okay. This is all I can think is like, okay. They had him eating rice with his hands. That's actually a thing they are going on about. Have you seen this, Murtazo? They actually have a photo of him eating rice with his hands in real life, and they're running with it because they think that's going to be, that's actually, again, everything has to be prompted. So someone typed in like, hey, can we get pimp named Slickback with a white kidnap rape van, and inside are a bunch of white girls? Like, this is like layers.
And drunk driving.
With plans to decriminalize all drugs, Mamdani will be a job creator for drug dealers.
Instead of helping us homeless get off the streets and into the mental health facilities we need, he wants to give us safe injection sites to do crack and let us sleep in subway carts. These are actual
safe injection sites to do crack.
Policies Mamdani and the DSA want to implement on day one.
When a woman's being domestically abused, she finally won't have to deal with some pesky cop to arrest the abuser, but now a social worker to help, kumbaya the situation.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Mamdani is finally lowering jail sentences.
Guilty!
But Mamdani says you're free to go.
Woo-hoo!
Who cares if legalizing prostitution statistically leads to an increase for sex trafficking of women and young girls by 70%?
You can't have safety without equality.
For unlawful abiding citizens like us, globalize the intifada.
Okay, so here's my question on that one. Okay. Honestly, I think they nailed it. So okay, I've watched this a few times. Here's my question: globalize the intifada, but he says globalize the Antifa. Duh. I think he's saying Antifa. I think someone fucked up the prompt.
Us, globalize the intifada.
I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
Yep. I'm a criminal.
For Zoran.
For Zoran Mamdani.
I like White Pimp. Did you see White Pimp? Like, did you see White Pimp? Because again, they have no idea what they're doing. So now he's a white pimp.
I didn't have a real job until I was 30, but sure, give me the keys to the city. What's the worst that can happen?
Paid for by Cuomo for NYC.
Pimp named Slickback. That's all I could think watching this fucking. I was
Zoran
like,
Mamdani.
fucking, are you
His
just
opponents want
fucking
you to believe
kidding
he's
me,
an
man?
inexperienced radical.
So, Mamdani ate rice with his hands. Mamdani ate biryani with his hands, which is like not a big deal. Who gives a fuck? But this is a real thing that people are upset about. So, as was pointed out, here he is.
Whose policies will make New York City.
Again, not eating biryani, but eating sushi rice. Right? Like all proper South Indians. Like, fucking, if you haven't been to like Asia, there's a lot of people there, especially in India. But like, eating with your hands is pretty normal in a lot of places. And it's like, it's just screaming racism.
City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy. He's just trying to even the playing field.
You know, give everyone a fair shot.
And so, again, this ad puts everyone who is supporting Mamdani as a criminal, degenerate, loser, psycho, criminal, drug user, piece of shit. This is not, oh, these people also support him. It's everyone. Every single person is a degenerate loser if you support Zoran. That's what they're doing.
Sure, he said multiple times.
And I got to tell you, Pimp Named Slickback, if you don't know the reference, I should probably make that reference. If you haven't watched Boondocks, I highly, highly recommend Boondocks. But it's literally Pimp Named Slickback. Like, this is not even slightly hiding it. Right? Like, it's the archetype. It's the archetype.
That's what I said. Slickback.
No, it's a pimp named Slickback, like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing. A pimp named Slickback.
Can we call you Slickback for short?
No, nigga, I'm a pimp named Slickback.
Crystal, who is this person?
So it's one of the best. I fucking love the Boondocks. It's so great. But it's like straight up, the suit's purple, everything. He just says the pimp's prayer, which is amazing. But it's like, that's the thing. Fuck me. It's all I could think. I know he has a second appearance too. Was he wearing a fur coat in that one? I feel like someone literally typed a pimp named Slickback. Slipback's so great. Oh, God, what a great character.
It's a nigga in a purple
Purple suit. It's so good.
suit.
Oh, God, the whole episode is so heartbreaking. Oh, this episode's so depressing.
Who are you?
And there he is. That beat is so great for it.
Times we need to defund the police, but that was just
So they put a pimp named Slickback in this fucking ad.
the metaphor.
And yes, he did say crime is a social construct, but that was
I do like how they have the waspy bitch woman. Remember the IRL Uncle Ruckus? The guy who does Uncle Ruckus, who's a phenomenal voice actor. He was in Boston Legal, and he played, like, we'll just say someone who eschewed gender roles as a thing. Clarence and Clarice. He's fucking amazing, and he's ridiculous in real life. You think they went for Hillary with this? I think they went straight to, like, weird, waspy white woman, and I don't know why.
also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such as
Decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting.
So, the mask he puts on, he robs a store, puts on a mask, these things get prompted. Why someone would say, and this is why it makes the AI thing actually really interesting for this to break down, because we know everything's intentional. They didn't just accidentally, oh, it's the only mask I have, whatsoever. We know someone typed and said this, or else it would do other things. It would make it more normative. So it would be a bandana or a other type of mask. To say N95 is specifically screaming at exactly the racist pieces of shit. Right? Right? You know what I mean?
Third-degree assault.
Now, look, when you have an amputee in bed, I don't understand how why did this be the thing you put in?
Trespassing. Prostitution.
That's not trespassing, by the way. That's, just so you know, if you want to know what the laws are on trespassing, that's not trespassing. Trespassing is like, it's not that. It's crazy. So there's a pimp named Slipback again. He has a fucking cane, but he's got like an assistant who's like a woman who's in a fur coat. Wait.
And drunk driving.
With plans to decriminalize all drugs, Mamdani will be a job creator for drug dealers.
Instead of helping us homeless get off the streets and into the mental health facility.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's a B&E. Yeah, that's something else. This was, what a fucking thing. Man, what a fucking thing. Man, what a thing. This is our nightmare. This is our nightmare. That's all we got. Just because it's worth showing as a thing. Clarence is a lawyer in this law firm on Boston Legal, and he's fantastic. Like he's the character's great. It's really interesting.
Cheap shot! Cheap shot! I was just asking. You made it personal against me. No, I was. Yes, you did. You fat boy. What did you call me? You attack me, I'll attack you right back. I won't be attacked. I won't be offended. I won't be picked on like that. Do you hear me? Now you look at here. I will try my case. You try yours. Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
They're great characters. Uncle Ruckus, though.
Good to see a white man here. Good to see you, sir. How does it feel surrounded by all these colored folks? Feels good enough? Come get it. Come get it. I don't know if you really feel comfortable. You don't feel like the lady behind you about to reach into your pocket? All right, I'm just curious. How you doing? You so pretty, you almost look white.
Tell us a little bit about
God fucking Christ. Just what a character. Just what a fucking
Whatever
character.
movie, Uncle Ruckus movie, UncleRuckusMovie.com, trying to do a Kickstarter to fund the movie. And
I'm still so sad. I tossed one. I still can't believe it didn't get done. Fucking Uncle Ruckus, man. That would have been amazing.
A live action Uncle Ruckus. Yeah. Who was that? LL Cool J. Oh yeah, he violent.
That's not this is not an impression of Uncle Ruckus. That's the guy who does Uncle Ruckus's voice. That's Uncle Ruckus. It's actually Uncle Ruckus. If you don't know, like actually that's him, and it's a character he was doing. Like this is not new as a thing. Like he's been doing this shit for forever. And it's an amazing character. Like what a fucking thing he is. Wild, man. Boston Legal is one of my favorite TV shows that people don't appreciate. I recently watched the entire thing all the way through. I think it's phenomenal. It is still a sitcom television thing, but its self-awareness is pretty solid. And they do a lot of really fantastic in-jokes, and I think overall does a very good job. But yeah, Uncle Ruckus is a trip. Man. I don't think I can watch any more of these without getting canceled like a motherfucker. But that stuff was hilarious. There's a few closings. Let me see if they've got one of these. Because it's, first off, James Spader is amazing in everything he does. Just in general. Ellen Shore was literally like a cipher for a handful of people. And, yeah.
What are you doing?
Climbing on my soapbox, Judge. I do it once a week.
Get
It says self-awareness, jokes.
off that thing now, Mr. Shore.
You sure? This is vintage soapbox stuff. We've got God, money, politics, homosexuality. Has anyone ever heard of restless leg syndrome? It's where you move your leg about in your sleep. It's awful. You may have it. May not keep you awake, doesn't really harm you in any way, may not bother you in the slightest, but nonetheless it's awful. The pharmaceutical companies have declared it so. So they've invented a drug, and you simply must take it. If you haven't heard of restless leg, by the way, you probably have attention deficit disorder. Awful. We've got a lot of drugs for that one. You must take them. You're depressed. You're not sleeping enough. You think you're shy, but you've actually got a social anxiety disorder. Weak stream, irritable bowel syndrome. You people have all kinds of ailments you don't know about. Luckily, we've got drugs for every one of them. You must take them. My colleague has a case involving a forgetting pill. You can take that one to forget you ever had restless leg or irritable bowels.
Mr. Shore, what are you talking about?
Same-sex attraction disorder. And what troubles me is why the folks in Big Pharmaceutical haven't invented a pill for this disease. Clearly, they're in the business of selling sickness. If there was a profit to be made, they would make it. And with an estimated gay population of over 10 million in the U.S. alone, there's certainly a big enough market. Could it be that they can't cure it? Well, not to worry. If Big Pharmaceutical can't do it, maybe Big Religion can. And they are. They're the ones who have coined the term same-sex attraction disorder. It's a very good name. Very important, a good name. It's the crucial first step in disqualifying homosexuals as a segment of the population and categorizing them as a disease. Makes homosexuals seem less like people and more like the flu. And with terrible, awful symptoms. But curable. and therefore less concerning when it comes to things like an individual's rights, freedom, privacy, marriage.
Big religion is very concerned with marriage.
Big religion is the one filling the pockets of Congress. It actually got them to propose a constitutional ban on gay marriage. Think about that. A governmentally imposed systematic prejudice against a class based on their sexual orientation. Never mind that one of the most trusted evangelical advisors to the president was himself having a homosexual affair on the side. Never mind that one of our congressmen was writing naughty emails to his teenage male pages. Isn't it just a disease? And I thought it was curable. That's what they told me down at the church. Well, you can legislate against it. You can give it a clever name and treat people for it. You can shut your eyes, have sex with your wife, and pretend it all feels right. You can join the church and swear to be celibate for the rest of your life. You can drive around on a Saturday night with a baseball bat and try to beat it out of some poor soul you happen to meet. You can even come to this courtroom and testify as to your new leaf and how well it's all working. What a miracle. My only response is, give it time. We'll see. Meanwhile, this company took $40,000 from my client, promising to cure him of his gayness. Only in America, only in a country that overtly and notoriously celebrates its prejudice against a class of people by proposing constitutional amendments. God bless us all, home of the brave. Shame on you. Couldn't you have at least offered a money-back guarantee and thrown in a blender?
It's fantastic. I love the show. Boston Legal was excellent. And every week it was very much, and you have to kind of understand like the timing of it. And this will be the last thing we talk about because this is like non-politics, although it ends up getting there. If you haven't watched The Practice was a transformational lawyer show. Lawyer shows have been around for forever, not just like Law and Order, but like, there's so many law shows. Just for years and years and years, it goes back to like the old days of like, Perry Mason is going to fix it in the last moment, the good lawyer who fixes things. And then you get into like the divorce lawyer dramas, and you get into LA Law where it's about these cases, but it's really about the lawyers and all the sex they're having. And then The Practice came out, and it was about like this really weird take. It dirtied up the whole thing by removing the romantic side of all of it. If you haven't seen Practice, The Practice had some extraordinary moments. And it made this move very specifically, actually, early on, to not make law look like anything but this flawed nightmare. It was really phenomenal. The characters always had moral issues and they put themselves in a place of feeling worse every single fucking day. They hate their jobs. They don't feel encouraged. They try to do the right thing and they're failing. They're all trying to be good people, but they don't quite make it. And they have moments. There's one great one. That comes to mind of like how this
Jenny
works.
Crane.
Good for you.
That woman scares me.
This is still The Practice, by the way.
For the record, your offer is rejected. I'm disappointed. I'll bet. Rather than steer my client toward accepting an unsatisfying offer, I steered her toward the firm Fine and Ambrone, which specializes in design defect product liability. I've also filed with the judge and the bar a complaint concerning your client's dishonest stonewalling tactics. And on a personal level, it's one thing for a corporation to engage in systemic discovery abuse, but for an attorney, these are real people. This is real suffering injured by your client's vehicles, and for you, never mind. I've already filed my notice of withdrawal. And as I said, the offer, it's rejected.
Eleanor.
I know you've defended criminals, people you have no sympathy for. In civil cases, defendants are entitled to representation as well.
It's not the same, and you know it.
Yeah, I suppose I do. Which is why I'm feeling particularly bad about myself. I think I need to go shopping. And not just for something little. I am so ashamed. I'm gonna buy a car. Something really, really redemptive. Would you like to come with me? Because I'd like that. Watching you watch me buy a $100,000 car. Can you excuse me a second? Oh, gee. Now I need to shop.
Is the characters in the practice defended people, didn't care about money, and they found themselves slowly collapsing. Problem is, get to season 8, which is what this is. Season 6 was already tired. 7 was really falling apart. And season 8 got to this point where they were trying to figure out how do you salvage this. So they introduced another law firm that they were up against. That law firm was Crane, Poole, and Schmidt. And it featured a lawyer that was going to be introduced, James Spader's character. And you saw Shatner there, and you saw like all of these people from what would be Boston Legal. And when they brought in James Spader, Dylan McDermott? Yeah, who was like the main guy. He and the girl who sort of started the show, they fizzled. They went off to do other things and have sort of film careers, and he became the center character. But as they kept going, they started to realize that they wanted to take the show in a different direction. Spader wanted to. They started to have more fun with the cases he had and make stronger, harder points. They wanted to actually make that closing speech like what you saw. They wanted to make the points be really complicated and to be really difficult for people. And it gets there. There's multiple cases that they deal with like 14-year-old girls suing to be able to get an abortion, like crazy stuff for the time. You got to remember, it's like 2004 to 2009. It's a very different era in general. And so, Ellen Shore, James Spader's character, basically came in and took over. And it's, 1 second. I wonder if they still have it. The Daily Show with James Spader, where he showed up, maybe they don't have it anymore. Yeah, that'd be a shame. So Jon Stewart was a huge fan, and so was I. Yeah, they're not going to have it. Fucking, why would we want to have archives of anything on a fucking service that has all of this? James Spader towards the end of the life of the practice goes on the Daily Show, and Jon Stewart just flatly says, "Thank you for saving my favorite show. Thank you. You saved my favorite show." And at that point, they realized they needed to figure out another way to do all of this. So they just basically created Boston Legal. And it's a very different entire thing. Kind of all of it actually becomes very, very different. And that setup, as he sort of started to do stuff, as he started to play into this, and as they started to sort of develop these characters, Denny Crane, who's the older, very seasoned expert lawyer, modeled after a handful of lawyers who are like really famous and sort of conservative, is a Bush Republican conservative through and through. That's William Shatner's character. Ellen Shore's Libby, lefty, progressive, but rich and trying to figure out where he's at. I think it's an interesting, like, internal character conflict that he multiple times actually has to confront. They form a friendship that is extraordinary and becomes the focus of the entire thing. It's really fantastic, and it's hard for me to recommend the show more because I think they did a really excellent job in general. And as they started adding other characters, other things, I think they did a really fantastic job with it. And I think it ended pretty well. Spoiler alert. Denny Crane and Ellen Shore get gay married. Not because they're gay. And actually the final episode is about what I think is like you want to take a weird stance at the time because gay marriage had just been made illegal. And Denny Crane had been diagnosed with, at this point, degenerative Alzheimer's, and he was falling apart. And he specifically said, Alan, we need to get married. We could draw up contracts, but the reality is I need you to be able to be the only person I love. I want you in my hospital room. I want you to be the person who's there for me. And I can't write contracts that do that. So we have to get married for it. So they decide to get married, and GLAAD sues them. The gay rights group sues them to stop it because they're making a farce of marriage. And it's just such an eloquently and interestingly done episode about like what the point is, how we consider marriage, what it is, and how at the time, again, super radical, but I'd say it even is now. He literally argues that anyone should be able to get married to anyone for any reason, and love shouldn't have to do with it. We shouldn't be questioning people. People should be free to do anything they want. Why are we doing? It's really an interesting sort of take, and it's just fantastic. Some really fun episodes, just in general.
Miss Stadler, when I asked you a week ago why you suspected my client of her husband's death, you never mentioned this remark made to the boyfriend about sex and coronaries, did you?
I wanted to keep that nugget for trial.
You don't like Kelly Nolan.
No, I don't.
Of course not. You looked after Mr. Nolan. She got to spend his money. Mr. Nolan and his wife had an arrangement, did they not? Where she was permitted to date other men?
All I can tell you is he wasn't happy about her and the boyfriend.
Was he angry about it?
Yes.
Did he ever despair over it?
Sometimes.
In fact, he suffered a few bouts of depression over the last couple of years, didn't he?
Minor.
Mr. Shore, what are you doing?
Just loosening up, Your Honor. Did you kill Joel Nolan?
What?
Yet you had access to the watch!
Mr. Shore, you better have a good faith basis for this.
I'd love to have a basis, but since the police didn't investigate the possibility, I'm limited. It would have been so nice if the police had actually gathered evidence for the purpose of arriving at a conclusion instead of supporting a preconceived one. Don't you agree?
Objection! That is stricken. I will seek counsel in chambers. I warned you not to make a mockery of these proceedings.
It was damaging testimony. I had to do something distracting. It was either accuse somebody or drop my pants. You've got a little froth.
I am doubling your contempt sentence.
What about his mockery? They tried this case in the press, totally contaminated the jury pool. He kept from us the information Miss Stadler so affectionately referred to as her nugget. What about your mockery? Not shutting any of this down, you psychotic punk.
You're baiting me to say something you can use on the appeal. Your contempt sentence is tripled.
I move for a mistrial.
On what grounds?
On grounds of you. We're not getting a fair trial here. On grounds of you.
Denied. Your sentence is quadrupled.
Good show. It's a good show. I like it overall. One of the best gags they do, because the whole show, they constantly are doing fourth wall breaking things. They're very aware they're a TV show. It's very surreal. But one of the best is when they do it's in season 2, when they move to HD. And they all make comments about how the men have to wear makeup now. Which is just and they talk about it because now they're in HD and everything is just a little bit brighter and a little bit clearer. Very odd. Why am I glazing this show so much? I love Boston Legal. Someone asked about it. It's one of my favorite TV shows. I'm not joking. Probably at the top of my list of like sitcom-y things, it would be up there with Seinfeld. I put it in that space. We could do like a list of, I could do one of those list things where you put TV shows. Boston Legal would be in my top 15 shows of all time, probably. Yeah, it's a pretty safe bet. I can watch it over and over and over. It's solid. The sit is definitely coming. I'm so confused. So someone asked, is Boston Legal worth watching? That's my answer. Yes. Fully recommend it. Some really great lines, some really good moments. Overall, very good moments. And be ready for some overt sexuality. A lot of it. So do more comedy streams? Well, I'm going to have to because I don't think I can watch a lot of depressing shit because I'm having to go down to ICE enough. Tomorrow, we're going to spend tomorrow evening there. We're having a dance party at ICE. Like you do. Why not? So we're going down with a bunch of stuff to make sure that happens. A bunch of inflatables. And that'll be great. But that's like, it hits you. Like, most of the time, people going in and out are mostly just like ICE agents leaving, or converse, ICE agents arriving, or random people in luxury cars or rentals. And the first time we were there, this is the first time, it was the last time I was there, and we actually watched one of the buses filled with immigrants show up. And it is very dark to witness that. It's very dark to witness that. It's very dark to witness that. Very dark. So yeah, comedy could be nice. Yeah, it could be nice to do a couple of streams of comedy. That might be fun. I need to find time to be able to do the rest of my kintsugi streams and philosophy stuff. I finally finished. I've been working on this idea. This sounds stupid, but like, trust me, this is a thing. I've actually, when I say it's the first time I told someone, like, wait, what? I don't know if this is a thing you should do, Brooks. And it's like, so here's the idea. One of the things that I think is really fascinating about a lot of what Deleuze does, Klosowski too, but if we're like looking through Spinoza, is the way that Spinoza talks about the third type of thought, or the third type of existence, third eye, you might say. And there's a specific, I really like Billy Idol. Do you guys know Billy Idol? Billy Idol, the pseudo-punk, actual punk, not sure rocker, really unique fucking character to say the least, but absolutely visionary when he put his out rebel yell. One of the songs on there is called Eyes Without a Face. A lot of people they know the song. Eyes without a face, got no human grace. Like, right? But there's a woman's voice. There's a woman's voice right before it. And people don't know what it's saying, but it's saying, Les yeux sans visage, which is eyes without a face in French. Because he wrote the entire thing after a movie called Les yeux sans visage, which is eyes without a face, which is I would say, existential horror film of a guy, this doctor who has a car accident happen that destroys his daughter's face. And so he begins to kidnap women to practice experimental, like, facial grafts onto, right? There's mainstream musical artist, correct. But yeah, like, again, the history of punk is really fascinating, and I think Billy Idol fucking rocks. I don't give a shit. But he begins abducting these girls to practice, ultimately trying to, like, transplant parts of their faces to his daughter. And the whole movie's about like what it means to like see things, but it's not your face, to lose your subjectivity, your faciality, right? The face as it exists is a site of identity. Norman Holland, I have, writes, eyes give us knowledge, and knowledge in this film gives power and prestige. Eyes are a source of knowledge. Faces are very identity, our being. In a sense, you can read this film as contrasting eyes with faces, knowledge with being. It's a great little sort of quote that was on the Amazon page. And I think when we start talking about desubjectification and how this comes about and how this works, again, it's Billy Idol's song, right? But the third kind of knowledge for Spinoza is knowledge that is implicit or intensive or intuitive. Okay? So like in Ethics, Part 5, he says, the highest endeavor of the mind, highest virtue is to understand things by the third kind of knowledge. Whatsoever the mind understands under the form of eternity, it does not understand by virtue of conceiving the present actual existence of the body, but by virtue of conceiving the essence of the body under the form of eternity. We're reading Klosowski's Nietzsche and the Vicious Circle, and he pulls from Nietzsche very much this same thing, this way that the high tonality of awareness that comes in this moment of intensity that the eternal return grants in this moment of revelation. Revelation, by necessity, is this extraordinary everything all at once, coming at once, but without self. There's no self there. To go back to Spinoza, we conceive things as actual in two ways. Either insofar, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the full screen because I'm just going to be rambling for a minute here. Either insofar as we conceive them to exist in relation to a certain time and place, or insofar as we conceive them to be contained in God and follow from the necessity of his divine nature. But the things we conceive in the second way as true or real, we conceive under a species of eternity. This aspect of eternity, this totality, this everything, is not really a spatio-temporal viewpoint. It's not a particular viewpoint. It's an understanding of things through this eternal necessity. This is not an external view. It's a view ontologically of things. Right? So, as I was going through this, and again, I happen to be listening. I like Billy Idol. I listen to it a lot. It started to occur to me that there's a really specific movement in Nietzsche, Klosowski, Deleuze, Bergson, and a few others to have perspectivism without subjectivity, to have eyes without a face, quite literally eyes without a face, as a concept inside of what they're talking about. To quote from Genealogy of Morals, objectivity ought to be understood not as contemplation without interest, which is nonsensical absurdity, but the ability to have one's for and against under control. Henceforth, my dear philosophers, let us be on guard against the dangerous old conceptual fiction that posited a pure, will-less, painless, timeless knowing subject. There is only a perspective seeing, only a perspective knowing. The more affects we allow to speak about one thing, the more eyes, different eyes we can use to observe one thing, the more complete will our concept of this thing, our objectivity, be. He's talking about eyes without a face. I couldn't get it out of my fucking head. It's like, okay, he's talking about eyes without a faciality. Not to take from like a plateau, but like that's the thing. This is, all of this is that thing. The faciality plateau for Deleuze and Guattari. It's Plateau 7 if you ever want to read Thousand Plateaus. The faciality plateau, the machine, operates sort of along two axes. It operates one, the black hole, which is subjectification, which is lodging in consciousness and passions, and then significance, the white wall, the inscribing signs and redundancies. So for them, as they say, the face is not a universal. It's not even that of a white man. It is white man himself. The face is Christ. The face is the typical European. The inhuman in human beings. That is what the face is from the start. It is by nature close up, with its inanimate white surfaces, shining black holes, and emptiness and boredom. Bunker face. So, we should go about effectively dismantling the face to be able to be perceptive but become imperceptible oneself. So I wrote a fucking 10-page goddamn essay on eyes without a face. As you can tell, I'm reading from it because I actually think it's a fucking thing. I can't help but think it's a fucking thing. The idea of having this transcendental field without ego, this perspectival place that they reference throughout. Lapoujade talked in a piece he did earlier this year. This is why I love Lapoujade. And he wrote that the concept of the body without organs can be traced from the perspective of Deleuze's consistent emphasis on sensation and premonition. He emphasized, well, the body without organs has a repulsive aspect that leads to dispersion and fragmentation. There's an attractive force that gathers and consolidates things. So Lapoujade raises questions about how we can reconsider D&G's concept of the body without organs in light of the movement's effectiveness in perceiving various overwhelming things in the world today. He's specifically trying to connect it to political moments. Lapoujade and Smith come together on this. There is a desubjectification, but not a loss of it's not perspective, but perspectival. So when we talk about these things, we talk about how do I phrase this? If we bring up, I went through this whole thing on masks and how, the reason that we ended up having people in the pandemic go about it, because the face is super important, how it works for Zoom, how these things carry through. So the concept begins with this literal removal of the face in Franju's film, right? Christine's white mask literalizes perception without faciality. She's the white face with the black holes. They don't reference it, but it's fucking absolutely what they're referencing. Came after or around the time. Eyes give us knowledge. Faces are our identity and being. That's Eugene Holland. So the film is contrasting the eyes and knowledge with face and being. The conceptual coordinates of this machine are there. What is philosophy? Deleuze lays out literally how a concept can be built. So this is the beginning of that. This is the architecture of the thing. These are the conceptual coordinates. Transcendental, within experience. Transcendent is outside of experience. Transcendental is within experience. It can be experienced or is within experience. Spinoza had the third kind of knowledge, bringing that in. Again, this is the method Deleuze lays out in What is Philosophy for how concepts are built. Spinoza's third kind of knowledge provides a philosophical articulation. How do I phrase this? We're talking about perception without the perceiving subject's limited viewpoint. Amor Dei intellectualis from Spinoza, as God's self-love experienced through a finite mind, collapsing the distinction between lover and beloved. Premises metaphysically self-locating thought, connecting experience to non-perspectival description, eyes without face. Nietzschean dissolution follows in here because Nietzsche radicalizes this by saying there is only a perspective seeing, only a perspective knowing. But the perspectivism undermines the perspective haver. It's within Nietzsche always. It's always dissolving. A thought comes when it wishes, not when I wish. There is no being behind doing. The doer is a fiction added to the deed, etc., etc. I have a bunch from Nietzsche. Multiple drives generate interpretations. What we call I is a post hoc unification imposed by effectively linguistics and grammar for Nietzsche. Klosowski carries this through, and I just talked about, it's the Silmarie experience, the experience of the vicious circle, the eternal return, the highest tonality, the highest possible intensity of the soul is where identity dissolves and perception becomes total. Literally eyes without face and all of that. I just go through and I basically roll this out. And so there's a really interesting thing when we start talking about this empty facade, the loss of what seems to be an authentic self and the mourning of that. The false constructs. It's all of these things are actually in the Billy Idol song hilariously. So, and it's throughout it. You can find these little lines like believing all the lies to keep the dream alive. The space of consistency, the space of believing the face or things you can't see. So, concept ends up with basically 6 components: desubjectification, defacialization, non-perspectival knowing, intensive singularities, algorithmic actualization, and political stakes. Because ultimately, that's really through La Poujade. I really like what he did. You should read La Poujade. The whole thing is about resistance to this comprehensive capture of face, of biometrics, of photos, of who we are, this authoritarian identification with our face, or the demand that our face is us. This is the thing they're forcing, is that level of identity, that level of certainty, that level of all of it. And as I read it, this is something new. This isn't like an explication of, this is actually a new concept and a new thing to sort of play with. And I'm open to critique because, again, this is like really weird. And this has been a really weird like month since this started writing this, because I've had to do a bunch of other things. But like, I can't find ways to actually have this assimilate into other things. This isn't just faciality. This is not just Spinoza's third kind. This is not surveillance studies of the modern era. This is something else. It's an irreducible specificity, but connects all of these things I've said. And I think it's been really fun to go through it at some point. Like, this is like my very fast version of it. I have like a 10-page fucking paper that I need to rewrite mostly. But I really do enjoy thinking through this, because the idea of eyes without a face, when we talk about sort of enlightenment or people becoming a BWO or whatever that next step is, very often people forget that that perspectival experience is part of the everyday thing for us. We oscillate inside of that. Again, the eternal return is not some special gift granted to a handful. It is the experience of experience as it goes. This is the thing, the high tonality of the soul, the moment of realization that we are destined to forget because of the power of it, necessitates something more. It's it's a lot. It's a lot, but it'll be fun, I think, at some point. It'll be fun, I think. I think it'll be good. It's a good way to teach. I just happened to be listening to Billy Idol, and I had forgotten that it was tied to a movie that is really good. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, there's an American Dad episode that actually is about that movie. It's not a joke. Where basically Haley embarrasses Stan, and he convinces her to let him give her, like, he knocks her out and then rebuilds her face and makes her a monster. It's fucking crazy. But I think it's going to be fun. It's like, at a minimum, it's good practice to sort of build something, because the act of like building this out has sort of forced me to refine so many of my understandings of everything. Like, it's a lot. I haven't gone into 1,000 Plateaus. Like, I don't publicly, certainly. God, I don't believe in such a thing. But the way these things sort of come about and how you can build has been really fun to dig into. Like, genuinely, it's been really fun. And Klosowski, I think, has been probably more formative for this. La Poujade would probably be up there because La Poujade's work has been genuinely redefining a lot of things for me. That's the whole thing. La Poujade talks about this thing, a pure experience as no one's field. That it is a transcendental field without ego. There are minor existences that require witnesses or advocates who perceive, but they don't perceive to represent. They perceive to defend modes of existence that seek reality. It's an aberrant movements. And if we talk about the BWO in light of movements, which it's a phrase Deleuze uses a lot, but I don't see a lot of people taking up. It's absolutely part of Klosowski's repertoire, Guattari's as well. The understanding that the movements are the thing. And I think when we're talking about the movements, effectiveness of the BWO, the effectiveness in perceiving overwhelming things in the world today, that's the phrasing he has. I just adore it. I just adore it. Who? Fouchard? La Poujade. La Poujade. So, Aberrant Movements, La Poujade. Actually, I have multiple books of his. And he just did on painting. Fuck, what a book. He just translated Deleuze's lectures on painting, and it's hard to describe how beautiful it is. Genuinely, it's fucking amazing. He has a very big talent. He and Dan Smith, man, they fucking kick some ass. They kick some ass. They have a talent for understanding the stuff and running with it. So, yeah. And that'll probably be me for tonight. Because that is just enough for me to go, I'm fucking tired. I've got so much shit to do tomorrow. Okay, 80 of you fucking people here. That's fantastic. How exciting. Let's see who's here. Let's see. Where can I send you people? Who is live? Political Punk still cannot let me do that. That's great. These fucking people. Who's live? Is anyone fucking live? I don't know. Peppa Pig? Fucking Christ. Nothing. Fucking nothing. That's a shame. Fucking nothing. So I'm not sending you anywhere. I'm just going to say goodnight. And just say thank all of you people for everything. Oh, go sleep. Lamp? Is that lamp? Lamp? Is that lamp? Or is there like multiple lamps? Nope, that's lamp. Lamp. You do not get to. Ico's live? Ico's not live. Is Ico live? Why didn't it show up for me? We'll see if Ico's doing something that isn't horrific. Something at least moderately. I don't have Ico. Ico's not showing up for me. What the fuck? Hold on a sec. I didn't spell it wrong. What the fuck? Ico is live. Oh, she's covering Anna, that crash out. So, okay, come on. There it is. Okay. That'll be perfect. Anna Kasparian apparently crashed out again about shit. That's fun drama. I will probably end up watching this as well. What happens when the black holes meet the solar anus? Well, that's the whole point of The Eyes Without a Face, is the understanding of egoless existence is not about removing perspectival understanding. It's about removal of the face, the self, the ego, that thing, that construction that is foisted on us through subjectivity, through political interactions. Your face tells a story of what you've lived as, but what your face is you. And there's an amazing interaction between those. I want to bring in Bateman's, Justine Bateman, the actress. Yes, she wrote a wonderful book called Face. And I want to bring that in because I haven't done that yet, because it's an amazing sort of manifesto about how we overrate the face and we don't allow it to change and we don't allow it to age, and the rules around it, especially for women. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. But I'll just, I could ramble and ramble and ramble. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, hey, thank all of you for joining. If you want to join us live for any of the readings, you want to come yell at me, feel free, discord.gg/DGQC. If you have the ability to support, just like Reiko. Hey, by the way, thank you again, Reiko, again, for all the memberships. And thank you all for who have been supporting and continuing to support us, especially of OperationInflation.com. If you feel like donating, go for it. Also, if you feel like supporting the QC, head over to patreon.com/DGQC and do it. I'm going to go probably literally fall and hit the pillow and pass out before I even realize what's happening. Go give some love to Aiko. I'll see you all soon enough.